What's up, my friends? Welcome back to Dragon Age Origins. Here we're with Aroden and the rest of our companions here in camp. Today we're probably going to go to Levy's mission, and I believe that's Soldier's Peak. But before we head out, we're probably going to need to touch base with Alistair and Leliana. They're the only ones I didn't touch base with. And yeah, since Lothering is finally behind us, 27 episodes later, and we might as well get to it. Let's talk to Alistair.
What do you need?
Let me ask you something, bub.
Ask away.
So, why have you remained a Templar if you hate the Chantry?
Have you seen the uniform? It's not only stylish, but well made. I'm a sucker for good tailoring.
Yeah, right. You know, I thought Templars wore plate mostly.
That's just in public. In private, we have these yellow and purple tunics, right? Much more comfortable, and you don't break the beds when you jump on them during a pillow fight.
So you had, lots of pillow fights, I take it?
Pillow fights? I mean, no, of course not. I meant sword fights. With rusty swords, dripping with acid. The kind that puts hair on your chest. You don't really want to know about my being a Templar, do you? It's really quite boring.
Rusty swords that drip with acid that put hair on your chest. Okay. Sounds like my type of sword, considering elves don't have any hair besides what's on their head, probably. So, I don't know, make something up then.
You know, I like the way you think. You're all right. If you're really curious, then I'll tell you. The truth of the matter is that I did hate going to the monastery. The initiates from poor families thought I put on airs, while the noble ones called me a bastard and ignored me. I felt like Al-Eamon had cast me off, unwanted, and I was determined to be bitter. But I took some solace in the training itself, I guess. I was actually quite good at it.
So, what exactly did you enjoy about the training?
The education, mostly, but also the discipline. You need to have a disciplined mind in order to use the abilities we have. It was difficult, but rewarding. I never really felt at home anywhere, though, until I joined the Grey Wardens. And Duncan felt my Templar abilities might be useful for when we encountered Darkspawn magic, so I kept it up. What about you? Do you have anywhere you consider home?
I mean, hey, we pretty much can't go back to our clan anyway, so anywhere my clan goes is my home. We can't really say that. We have a whole new life now, my friends. So, more or less, I guess wherever this camp goes, you know, we're travelers now.
We won't always be traveling like this, you know. Once the war is over, once the Blight is... well, a time will come when we'll have to think about having a real home again. Though that seems like a far ways off. And I suppose the Grey Wardens are gone for good. Either way.
True enough. You know, I guess, you know, we can rebuild them.
I suppose you're right. We can create new Grey Wardens, but we'll never get back those we lost. I wonder if it would ever feel the same. Anyhow, now I've sidetracked us. We'd better get back to what we're supposed to be doing right now.
Things never truly feel the same when you're introduced to something that's different than what it is now. He was introduced, you know, with the Grey Wardens with Duncan, you know, and Duncan played a big part in his, I would say personality, but Duncan played a big part in his acknowledgement of the Grey Wardens. So no matter what, he's always going to compare the new Grey Wardens to what he had with Duncan and the rest of the Grey Wardens before they all got killed. So, it's just never going to be the same, Alistair, sadly. First impressions are always the ones that last, my friends.
Yes?
So, let me talk to you.
Well, here I am.
Leliana's dialogue is strange. I know some of her stuff leaves. I don't remember which one you gotta say first, but let's just go with this one. What was life like in the Chantry Cloister?
Quiet. It was a life suited for contemplation. In the cloister, away from the fuss and the flurry of the cities, I found peace. And in that stillness, I could hear the Maker. But it was not perfect. Some of my chantry fellows were condescending. That is the nature of religious folk, I suppose.
Yeah. They do tend to be self-righteous.
When I talked about my beliefs, that the Maker reveals himself in the beauty of his world, they treated me with disdain. They want to believe that he's gone, so that when he turns his gaze on them, it means they are special, chosen. He cannot possibly have love for all, the sick and the weary, the beggars and the fools.
So what did you say to them?
What can I say to them? What they believe is what the chantry says, and the chantry is infallible, yes? Maybe I am wrong. But it is the Maker's place to decide if I am worthy, not men, not the chantry. But there is work to be done, and I have talked enough for now.
Okay, let me click on it one more time.
Yes?
I want to see if that did go away.
Well, here I am.
Okay, let's move on. Leliana is good. Sten is probably good now. Brucey, I don't really need to talk to Brucey. Mother freaking Bowdown Fennec over there. Look at him. I don't know if we should put that on yet. We'll see. Let's talk to Levy.
You're a hard man to find. Where are my manners? The name is Levy, Levi Drydan. Did Duncan ever mention me? Levy of the coins? Levy the trader?
Like he had the time to mention anything to us. He wasn't even freaking talking to us barely, you big goon. I'm Aroden, and I've never heard of you.
Really? He never told you of old Levy? We've known each other for years. But here I am carrying on while you have a blight to stop. Don't want to waste your time. But you see, Duncan promised that together we'd look into something important for the wardens. And for me. But poor Duncan's... well, no more. A tragedy it is, at that. But I know he would want his work carried on. His pledge fulfilled.
Okay. So, let's just dive into it. How do you even know Duncan?
It's a bit of a tale, that is. But I'm the one who brought the Grey Wardens back to Ferelden. Well, I was one of the ones. There were a lot of us. Maker's breath, I'm a bit nervous. Honoured to be here, really.
Why don't you go ahead and tell your tale then, pal?
After King Marek freed us from the Orlesians, the Grey Wardens begged the King's permission to come into Ferelden, some sort of internal business. Me and a mess of other Warden sympathisers spoke on behalf of your order. Tan Loghain was very much against letting Orlesian Wardens in the kingdom. But Marek, Andraste, bless him, was a fair-minded monarch and he let them in.
Go on. I'm listening there, big guy.
So that's why I was there when the Wardens and their leader, Genevieve, presented herself to the king. The first Wardens in Ferelden in over a century. Proudest state of my life, that was. Duncan was a bit of a scamp back then. We were of an age and struck up a friendship. The king himself went with the Wardens on their mysterious business. When he returned, he rescinded King Ardlan's decree, and the Wardens came back to Ferelden for good.
The Calling book. You guys gotta check that out. I believe he's referring to that book. That book was very, very good. Marek did go into the deep roads with a few of the Wardens, and it was a nice little tale. And Marek seen a bunch of stuff. It had involvement of the architect. It was just really cool, man. If you guys never read it, do it. I've said it like 27 episodes straight now. So I guess Duncan was an easy man to like.
That he was.
Well, we done missed dialogue. That's ridiculous. Okay. Well, I thank you for bringing the Wardens here then.
Oh, your stomach's all aflutter. You're welcome.
I would have liked to hear what he said about Merrick, but it's all good. Well, what promise did Duncan make to you?
My family, well, past is a bit checkered to see. Nobles look at us with disdain. My great-great-grandmother, Sophia Dryden, was the last warden commander of Ferelden back when the wardens were known as freeloaders. So King Arlen banished the wardens, and he took House Dryden's land and titles.
So what happened next?
Hard to say. After King Arlen died, there was a civil war, loads worse than this one, and our family was on the run, hunted by enemies, with nary a friend in the world. But Drydens are tough. We rebuilt, became merchants, and we never lost our pride.
I'm surprised you kept your name. We don't really notice crap when it comes to human politics and the Dalish and stuff. How will we even know what they would even do when it come to rebels and stuff? So what favor did you ask Duncan?
I asked for the truth. My family reveres Sophia Dryden. We know she died at the old Grey Warden base, Soldier's Peak. We want evidence to clear her name. It won't restore our land or our titles, but it'll restore our honour.
Couldn't you just go there by yourself?
Well, no one's been to Soldier's Peak since Arlen's days. At least none that's come back. I spent years mapping the maze of tunnels to the peak, and I found the way a few years back. So I went to Duncan, I did, and I said that he could reclaim the old base and my family could have its honour.
Why didn't even Duncan help you then?
Darkspawn surfaced in southern Ferelden, and Duncan got plenty busy recruiting new wardens and meeting with good King Cailan. Duncan said he would help after the Battle of Ostagar. Said there might be useful things at the peak, but he never had the chance.
How will reclaiming this peak help the Wardens?
Soldier's Peak is strategic and symbolic importance. Duncan said that it would be worth it right there. He also hoped to recover lost Warden history and perhaps a few old relics. No one knows what's up there now.
Well, what do you need from me then?
I can pick my way through the tunnels at the base of Soldier's Peak, but the place, well, they say it's haunted, and it'll be dangerous for certain. Will you think on it at least?
Okay, well, let's go to Soldier's Peak.
1,000 blessings upon you, Warden. I'll mark down the location on your map. When you arrive, we'll pick our way through the tunnels together.
Alright, Levy's gone. Well, I guess we'll click on this codex then. And we'll read that. One thing I do want to say before we read this is that when you click on something, some of the dialogue goes away. Like, it's not game breaking. Obviously, we missed out on a few things. Talking to him about Arlen. We could have asked him about Arlen when he cast, or not Arlen. We could have asked him about Merrick, and he told us a little bit more about Merrick going into the deep roads, obviously. And some people think that, this is just kind of from what I remember. He was saying that some of the nobles in Ferelden thought that Merrick let the Wardens back in because of, it would build better relationship with the dwarves and trade and stuff, but that's really not the reason why he let them back in. But other than that, that's pretty much about it. Let's go ahead and read this. Sophia Drydens is Ferelden's light and her most brilliant jewel. Nothing on earth can ever quench her fire. Our lesser Sophia Dryden was the young Arlen's rival for the throne of Ferelden. Dryden was a strong and charismatic leader with much support from the Banner. When Arlen finally won the crown, Dryden refused to relent. She pushed her claim, was caught and accused of treason. Her sympathizers continued to support her. However, in order to appease them, Dryden was spared execution and forced to join the Grey Wardens instead. Dryden's survived the joining and dazzled the Grey Wardens at Soldier's Peak. With her leadership skills and charm, she eventually rose through the ranks to become the Warden Commander of Ferelden. Before Commander Dryden, the Grey Wardens were seen as a relic of an older time and an unnecessary drain on nobles' coffers. Dryden, though, with her political connections, reinvigorated the Wardens and rapidly increased their numbers. In the meantime, King Arlen proved himself a devious king willing to go to brutal lengths to silence his opponents. Arlen's reign of terror grew worse with each passing year, and some of the bands approached Commander Dryden in desperate, begging her to intercede. She agreed, and thus was the rebellion against King Arlen. Arlen learned of the rebellion, took steps to end it. He publicly suspended all Tithan to the Grey Wardens and declared that they were no longer welcome in Ferelden. Some of the wardens, mindful that they were supposed to remain political neutral, felt disgraced by Dryden's involvement in Ferelden's politics and left her side, even as the king's forces laid siege to Soldier's Peak. The siege took months and ended with the death of Sophia Dryden. Interesting. We got another one, but what was the other one? Well, we got a lot of codex to read, my friends. Is it in the books? Maybe it's a note. Definitely not a note. A very chewed and moist book. Delicious. Cultures and history then, probably. The history of the Drydens, here. Okay. In the few years following the siege of Soldier's Peak, all those who carried the Dryden name were hunted by King Arlen's forces. Our noble Dryden name was smeared, and all the land's holdings belonging to the Drydens were seized by the crown. The king feared that the rebellion started by Sophia would be kept alive by her loyal friends and family, and anyone with connections to the Drydens suffered greatly. It is little wonder, then, that the few remaining Drydens found themselves with no allies and nowhere to turn. Tobin Dryden, Sophia's brother and guardian of her young son, had no choice but to flee Ferelden. Tobin brought passage to Antiva on a merchant vessel and traveled under the name Deroser. Once in Antiva, Tobin set about building a new quiet life for himself and his nephew. He started a small business and eventually made a name for himself as a trader. The Derisher, whatever his damn name is. The D merchant family prospered, and the name Dryden was almost forgotten. However, in 815 Blessed Age, Sylvie D uncovered old documents belonging to Tobin and pieced together the family's history. In her pride and perhaps her naive, Sylvie reclaimed the name Dryden and returned to Ferelden. King Arlen lies dead and the Dryden's name lives on. Our family has survived, even thrived, since the death of Sophia Dryden. The nobles of Ferelden may still spit on the Dryden name, but we Drydens know that Sophia Dryden was greater than them, almost queen and hero of the people of Ferelden. Okay, so the Drydens do seem like a decent, honorable family. It's just a shame they had to get snuffed out like that. Anyways, let's get on the road. We done been babbling enough here at camp. And at least get up to Soldier's Peak. Now, Leliana, Morrigan, Alistair. Okay, Soldier's Peak is up top, right? Atop a maze of abandoned mining tunnels lies the old Grey Warden base of Soldier's Peak. Okay. RP-wise, going to this place first is probably among the best paths for anyone to even go to. Because you see we're in a shoddy-ass camp. And we get word of a stronghold that we could actively make ours. Why would we not want to go here? You know what I mean? Obviously, we want to go off and do this other stuff, but strategically, probably coming here would be the best idea. Let's get on it. You know, one thing I have noticed about this is that every time you go to Soldier's Peak, it does not seem to trigger any kind of fights. When you leave Soldier's Peak, it does.
Here we are.
But going there doesn't.
Soldier's Peak. Maker's breath. Look at the size of her. What a fortress. I told you the map would get us through the tunnels.
Just admit it, you were lost a few times, huh?
I wasn't lost, it's just that the map got soggy. Bah, we're here. So, I'll follow you about, from a distance. This place has the stench of death. I expect there's trouble up ahead.
Soldier's Peak. Looks like it's seen better days. Better centuries, more like.
Once the wardens flourished, their ranks full, their caliber certain. Now they even accept people like you, Alistair.
Hey.
Hey. What I was gonna say is Levy needs to pick up a damn sword and help. Can we click on? We cannot. Sadly. You know, I'm really not sure how to get Bowskii that thing. What we're gonna have to do. We're not gonna worry about it right now. But eventually we're going to have to, in an area where we can switch people. Can't do it right here. We'll have to take one of these out and put Bowskii actively in the party. Yeah. Sounds good. Let's get up here and kill people and get a damn start to this place. Because we haven't done shite. Hold on, let's ask.
Yes?
What do you know about this place?
Next to nothing, I'm afraid. Perhaps there is little to know about this place, or I simply have not discovered its secrets yet.
Well, alright then.
Fall back! Fall back already!
Taking the peak will not be easy, my lord.
I gave the wardens one chance to die with honor. Instead, they hole up like cowards. We follow the king's advice, then. Starve them out.
But the peak has months of supplies.
Then we wait. When they are too weak to lift their weapons, we will send them to their final judgment.
What was that? Felt a bit woozy there. I'm not mad, am I? You saw it too?
I've heard an Orlesian ballad about something like this. A beauty trapped in a dream. In the song, Belisa never wakes up.
Your prissy friend here is making me nervous, Warden. How's this even possible? The place must truly be haunted.
Well, the world is full of mysteries, my friend.
Yes, Warden.
This place is honestly ripped to shreds. Look at all this. The veil is definitely torn here. I'm kind of scared to move in. I don't know where the hell I go. Let's just go over here. Hey guys. Go ahead and get a taunt on board. If we can ever wake up. Get to Alistair. Get behind these guys and tear them up.
Let's make this quick.
Man, Alistair pulled that guy. Huh? Let's see. Okay, so we got a lot of stamina still, obviously. So he put threatening on anyway. You know, I just don't like threatening. I just don't. Like, you seen Alistair pull that guy, like, off of me? And he was barely doing any damage. Like, what is the point of threatening? I don't think it's worth it.
I am your death!
Alright, let's get up here and see if we can take this mage out. He's the main concern. Let's get onto Morgan. Gonna wanna... on these guys. Where's Lily? What are you doing back there? Go ahead and work on this guy. Let's get back to Aroden. And then get to this gentleman. He's done. There you go, Allie. Alright, well, they're coming up to us. We have a good deal of guys down there. Let's get back on our sword and shield. You know... Okay. Let's go ahead and get everybody on board fighting this guy. Everyone looks pretty good in health-wise. Let's do a group heal. Get on the Aroden. Should have gotten everybody there. You get Levy just running around like a... What is he doing?
Hey, watch it! Down you go! Here we go!
Easy peasy. That was among the easiest it's been. I really think Bowskii tips the scales, guys. I won't lie. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not taking him out. Bowskii damn tips the scales, my friends. Either or. I mean, if we took Bowskii out, I'd make Leliana a ranger. Don't matter. But now we're not. Let's level Morgan up. Morgan, I need you a little bit more willpower. So... There's a good staff in here. Let's just give her more magic for now. Revival, obviously. Just in case.
What?
What do you want? Can we actively? No? Okay. See, Alistair. How? Oh, never mind. I thought that was the other one. Okay, never mind. Threaten, you know... We don't want that. I don't know how I feel about threatening. Let me know. If it's worth it, then we'll try it. But for now, I just don't see the use of it. Okay, ancient history. Let's read about Soldier's Peak as we go. Well, might as well. The Grey Warden's base of Soldier's Peak was built in the middle of the Glory Age, several decades after the Second Blight was ended. Before then, Grey Wardens in Aroden would take up residence in castle and forts that belonged to generous nobles. Warden Commander Gaspar Austrian desired a fortified headquarters where the forces could train and live. He planned that Soldier's Peak would be a city unto itself. The defeat of the Darkspawn and the Archdemon Zazakiel was fresh in the minds of the Aroden people, and many were willing to donate gold to build Commander Austrian's fortress. Soldier's Peak was fully completed within 10 years and dedicated to the Maker in 934 glory. Was that wrong? Hey, it's got to be 834, right? It can't be 9, because it's not even 934 right now. It's 929, I think. Dragon Age. Or 930. It's not even... Yeah, that's not right. Typo. Let's get inside. And see what the hell is going on with this place. Yeah, see, because our stamina's not great. And tell you what. You know, speaking of armor, with this armor here, I'm thinking if we can't upgrade it in the chest and such, I'll probably end up using some of the basic armor that they have in the game. As in like Kaelin's armor or the armor from here. Because I don't really fancy selling it to the guy and buying it back, because we're not going to have money for that shit. I mean, we could try.
The men's morale is low. My spells are of no use in this matter, Commander.
There is more to leading men than sorcery, Avernus. I will remind them that they're wardens. Men, I won't lie to you. The situation is grim. Our forces outnumbered, our bellies empty, and our hearts are sagging. But we are wardens! Darkspawn flee when they hear our horns. Archdemons die when they taste our blades. So are we to bend knee to a mere human despot? No! I, for one, will never give up! I, for one, will never surrender just to dance on Arlen's gallows. So I propose here and now, in these hallowed halls where generations of our brethren stood vigil against darkspawn and evil, that we send a message to that fat bastard. In this sacred place, proud men, strong men stood defiant, and would rather die than submit to tyranny.
So brave, even when starving, and my great-great-grandmother stood with them.
I kind of can't believe they would just attack the wardens like that.
Everyone knows they were banished, but to murder them like that... King Ireland must have been a monster, but I've gabbed enough. Lead on, my friend.
Like, it's literally like people forget what the wardens do. Obviously, you know, the wardens are supposed to stay neutral. The thing is, though, it's like the wardens will save the world, right? And people will immediately forget what they just did. It's like, okay, you, like, in previous game, not previous games, in later games, somebody says, I believe it's, I'm not going to spoil, but somebody does say, you know, you save the world, but Christ, it's no way around not being able to spoil a little bit by me saying this. But anyways, the person says on the lines of like, you know, you saved the world, but that was what, 10 years ago? What have you done for us lately? What do you have to do? You don't have to do more. You saved the world. That should be enough. You don't need to do anything else. Like, the wardens get so... like, people just love them and hate them, man. It's terrible, but... just how it is, my friends. I'm going in with Bowskii first. Okay, he resisted. Then... let's get over here with Aroden. Go ahead and knock him down. Where are you guys going? Did they already kill that one? I guess no. Okay, he's beating on Aroden's back. We cannot have that. Let's get to... almost striking. Ooh, you sucker. Perfect timing on that. Hold on, let's get back to Morgan. See if we can mind blast him. Did he resist it? Bowskii's about done for. Codex? Okay, arcane horrors. Bowskii indeed did get hurt. Let's just... can we give him anything that will heal his injury? Horn jugular? Darn, Bowskii. Oh, he can't even take that. Alright. We gotta figure Bowskii's injuries out.
Be easy enough.
Since he can't take injury kits. Get back on our sword and shield. Let's pull him out here. Oh. Yeah, there we go. It's actually working. Somewhat. Guess not. Let's get the Morgan. There we go. Damn, Alistair's wrecking that guy.
Next! And that too!
Who leveled up? Bowskii? Which is way too easy. Bowskii level up? Okay, a plea from Commander Atler. Soldier's Peak is more than we bargained for. There is sinister magic at work here. The men are seeing things and cannot tell nightmares from reality. The falling return to life and attack again and again. And we are assaulted by dark creatures, the likes of which I have never seen. Whoever is responsible is intent on destroying us all. The King's army and the Grey Wardens both. Send help. We cannot last much longer. Commander Athler. Alright. Shall we go on?
Let's get started.
Lily, can you get this? I wonder. Sure. And over there. Oh, we got some walking corpses on the other side. That's interesting. Walking around chilling. Okay, a letter from Ban Mathin Wolf. Sophia, Alron and his entire family have been slaughtered, even the children. The Rowan line is no more, and the Arling belongs to the crown. For now. Arlen believed Rowan was plotting against him. Ruan criticized the king's spending on winter sand, that is all. It was an idle word spoken out of turn. The king goes too far. His brain is filled with madness and clings to the crown like a drowning man clenches to a straw. Sophia, I beg you, help us. If nothing is done, more will suffer. Your humble servant, Wolf. Alright.
As you wish. Right.
Shady, nasty shit's going on here. Well, not shady, I guess, but just nasty shit's going on in this place. There they are. The big, massive bottles of liquor, my friends. That's what I'm talking about.
Let's get started.
Hey, guys. Resisted, that's what I'm talking about.
Begin the onslaught.
Down you go.
Here comes Jordan.
Got Tone on board. Alistair is wrecking. I'm happy we kept Alistair as a dual wielder. He's actually doing some good damage.
Now we get our hands dirty.
Telling you, in my first Let's Play of this, Zevron was our #1 damaged ability, or #1 damaging companion. Dual wielding might be undercover nasty. I never thought it was quite as strong as like two-handed weapons, but it might very well be as strong.
On it.
Let's go ahead and read this. The book is badly burned. You can make out a word here and there, and that is all.
The door won't hold, Archivist.
Almost done. The truth must be told.
What does it matter? We're dead.
Our grand rebellion so close. And to die here, a stillbirth.
We never should have done it. Wardens aren't supposed to oppose kings and princes.
Should we stand idly by?
Another one. Rebellion? What's this about a rebellion? If only the book weren't burned.
Supposedly wardens are supposed to, obviously. Rebellion is against everything the wardens stand for, technically.
But Sophia must have had her reasons. The wardens are heroes. Some injustices just can't be ignored.
Taking up arms against King jeopardizes our neutrality.
How's that different from what you're doing with Teyrn Loghain?
Well played, sir. True enough. But I guess the blight changes everything.
You lead a harder life than I.
Alright, let's read this last book here. Soldier's Peak, Chapter 2. As he approaches the 60th year, rumors swirl that the corruption in Soldier's Peak, the corruption in Warden Commander's Australian's blood was beginning to take its toll. According to the reports from that time, the commander experienced terrifying waking dreams and heard his name whispering from the dark corners of Soldier's Peak. It is said that Australian would spend hours locked up alone in the great hall of the base, muttering to himself, though no one was ever able to make out what he was saying. Many also believe that Australian began in secret to draw up plans to expand his fortress, adding to it hidden passages and alcoves, all to protect himself from the shadows that pursued him. No one knows whether Australian was able to complete his project, for his Deterioration had become obvious to anyone who spent any amount of time with him. He was quickly replaced by Warden Commander Frida Halwick. Australian was taken to Orzammar, where he submitted to the calling, the last rite of the Grey Wardens, and went to his death with honor. See, it's very good that we're actually doing this too, because we get a nice little lore dump on the Wardens itself from what we don't even know yet about the Wardens. And yeah, this is a good path to start off the game, I think, strategically, and it's nice to get a little hint and a little lore dump on the Wardens itself. But I'm actually going to save here before we head up to the next, I guess the next floor, because it's going up here. And when we come back, we'll try to tackle the rest of this darn place. See if we can cleanse this place and take it over for ourselves. But anyways, my friends, take care, have a good one. Until next time, stay safe out there. See y'all then.